Our guest today is Dale Grant. He's a Marine and he served in the Pacific. Okay, Dale, you volunteered for the Marines.
Oh yeah, I was 17.
17. Oh, and you took boot wear.
Paris Island.
So how was boot here?
Well, they said it's working combat. But it was pretty rough, but it was good.
So how long was boot then at that?
9 weeks.
And it was just as bad as what it sounds too.
Yeah. Yeah, at that time, we didn't have no parade field or anything. We walked on sand, you know. It got pretty tiresome. But
so once a Marine, always a Marine, huh?
yeah.
You feel that way right now?
Oh yeah.
Isn't that funny what they can instill in a person that sticks with you?
Yeah. Lloyd there out here told me, he said, that's the only outfit I ever knew that hung together like they do. Because the others are large and we're not. But I am really proud I was a Marine.
You know, every Marine says that too here.
Yeah.
I see you have a Marine cap here. Let's just show our. So you're a veteran of the Pacific.
Yeah.
Okay.
Central Pacific. Under Admiral Nimitz. He had this Central Pacific. MacArthur had the South Pacific. So we landed in the Marshall Islands directly from the States. And took it.
Right into combat too, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. It didn't last too long. It was 2 little atolls. And we landed on a little island right next to Roy L'Amour for sport fire.
So what kind of enemy did you have there? I mean, how was he dug in?
Oh, blockbusters, hill boxes and everything.
Really dug in, huh?
Yeah, you had to use flamethrowers and sacking charges and everything to get them out.
So the Navy didn't break them up before.
Well, they did a good job, but that just don't touch them. That's all, you know. It kills a lot of them. There's a lot left.
So you took some heavy losses just on the beach area.
Yeah, well, all over, because the island's small. On the airfields, they hid in waterways underneath, you know, how they make them with cement and everything. Well, they hide in there and fill boxes and everything. But it didn't last too long. I mean, I think 72 hours we had that.
Oh, that was pretty fast.
Yeah, we don't stop once we get going.
So were there, when you had to clean up, were there snipers and spider holes?
Oh yeah, but a few, not too many. We had a colonel killed there by a sniper, and so then we stayed on the island for 29 days. We went down and took, I think it was 55 islands, little islands we had to go through to make sure they was clean on an LSD, and then we came back.
You mean you had to have a landing on each one of those islands?
Oh yeah, yeah.
But it was a landing where you really didn't know whether you was going to find it.
We really didn't know who was there, what was there. We didn't think maybe it was too much, but there were some radio stations and things, you know. 55
landings, that's quite...
Well, we was there a couple of weeks taking that, going down the chain, and then, of course, the rest was... No, there wasn't. We went from there to Saipan, and that was terrible.
So, these islands that you took, did you then man them too? Or, leave a force there too?
Well, the Army come in and took over then.
Oh, I see.
And, well, Saipan was real bad. That's where I killed my first one.
Uh-huh. So what sort of landing did the Navy soften it up at all?
Yeah, they tried to, and we got up to the railroad and run across there, and then we had orders to go back and take the point on the right side, and on the way back we got shelled all the way. We were running, and artillery was behind us. So then after I get up there was a sniper, so Captain sent me and two other guys back to get the sniper. Well, come find out there was two. And as I walked around our dugout of some kind, I come face to face with his dad. And he pointed his rifle at me, and I had a Tommy gun, so that was it.
You shot first.
It was kind of scary.
How far away was he?
Oh, about 20 feet.
He was just as surprised
Yeah,
as you were.
yeah. He was taking aim, and I just closed up and let him have a burst,
It's all reaction from then on.
Yeah, you do it automatically, And then we had a banzai that night. We killed quite a few, and some of them got through, and we had to go back and carry up ammunition. And on the way back, we run into a Jap in the weeds. He had his arm tied up with a vine, and he was knocking a hand grenade on his head until it exploded so he could get us, but we took care of him.
During this bonsai, were you on a machine gun?
No, they took me off. And then, when I was in Saipan, another thing happened. They got aboard ship. They wanted a company lineman. So I was a volunteer, So I had to maintain the lines on the outpost ahead of the front lines. And the companies, not the company, but the platoons, and had to signal them all together. And that was bad. Artillery knocked out the line, and had to fix them and everything. And I'd holler, "Don't shoot, I'm coming in," because I was out ahead of the line. But
Did you have to carry a roll of wire on your back?
we had a reel, and weighed about 20 pounds, and I had a 20-pound telephone, field telephone. And we set that up and put company CP, and then we took our lines around to the platoons, and then out. We had about 2 outposts out. They had about 200 yards. That's what I was inside.
They shoot at guys that are carrying reels of wire, don't they?
Yeah. One incident, we had to connect the battalion, so we went back and strung the wire, me and my buddy. And on the way back, we met 3 people. It was dark. And, there's high leathernecks, and we never paid any attention to it. But come find out they were Japs. But they passed us by, So.
I suppose that happens quite a bit at night, because at that time there was no night vision.
Yeah, there's a lot of fighting. And it's so dark in them islands, it's hard to see. But we had a hill, 520, I think, an overlooking airfield. And right after the Saipan turkey shoot, and the Navy shot, and they pulled us back. I think it was the 23rd Regiment, don't fight me, had tried 3 times to take this hill. We had to go through the cane field and up the hill, and the airfield was over here. And the enemy had complete control of that airfield with the artillery. So we were on the frost here. I got several bullet holes through my pant legs. I didn't get the head. I got some through my jacket, I didn't get it, and I lost my canteen, I lost my 45 round ammunition. So we took in 45 minutes. And that's when Colonel Carlson put us up with Bronze Star, but the Congress said, well, that's too many men to give Bronze Star to, so he gives him a presidential citation. We got 2 of those, one from Roosevelt, and then when we was on Iwo, we got Truman give us one. So,
Isn't it funny how political it becomes with giving medals?
we had some pretty nice people there. We had Roosevelt's son, and I don't know, Hopkins wasn't that something, state or something, the government, here, his son. So, but Iwo was something else. And 7, let me get it straight. In each square mile, there was 700 men lost, dead. And
Iwo Jima.
yeah, pretty good sized island. So I still have my nightmare about it. You turn around and look, everybody's gone. Maybe he's blowed up his shell because they had a pinpoint so bad, that you couldn't move. That volcano ash. I should have brought that other book showing the ash, but I didn't. And there was LSTs and Amtrak off, blowed all before you got to shore, And
So the Japanese had it well fortified, and they had all the high ground too.
tunnels, and then up and tunnels, so on, honeycomb, And we had the holding action while the 5th went and took Savachi. We took the right flank, and we had to hold that against the quarry. And some nights we'd throw hand grenades, and they'd throw them back. That's what. And
How do you advance when they're so well fortified?
some days we only made a yard at a time. And it's really bad holding that because we couldn't advance until the others moved around and formed a line across the island. But they finally did, and then we couldn't advance. Maybe 2-3 yards a day. It was something else.
Was it all light arms fire then?
Well, mortar, and they had a rocket there, and at 7 o'clock at night, they'd fire that rocket in a wooden V-shaped thing. They'd put it in there, and it was shooting at the Oklahoma battleship on the other side of the island. It scared us to this, because it would go, woo,
Was that like a 5 or 6 inch rocket? I read some.
Oh, that thing was about 10 feet long or so. It was tremendous. But we finally overtook it.
No, they didn't have any Zeros or any enemy aircraft there, did they?
No, they was taken care of. We took that first airfield. Boy, the B-29 flyers was flying to Tokyo and back. They'd run out of gas or something, and they landed there, and they'd get out and kiss the ground and thanked us for making a place for them to stop.
Well, you guys saved a lot of lives.
It was a tremendous lot. And then the Air Force brought the P-51s in for escort for the planes over there. But
Were the P-51s housed there then in Iwo?
yeah, because we took 10 in there with the airfield where the B-29 took off. We took that the first day. We landed there on Amtrak's and get up on the Amtrak and walk on the cliffs. And it said it was one of the best invasions ever made. But we run into Lewis guns and everything, and we got pinned down, so the captain stood up and was try to get his men on. And he looked at me, he says, "Let's go, Grant." So I said, "What about my wire?" He said, "Drop it." So I went over, and he come up and he turned to wave him on. He got shot right through here. So I hollered Corman, and I took care of that Jap. He was only about 20 feet from us in jungle, you know. And I pulled him down, and I held on to him. And they got the Corman, and they took him aboard ship, and they announced after the battle he died. He was a good guy. He was really a good guy. And that day we took the old one, and we served the final detector line because we expected Banzai. And they'd pull ox guards up, try to get us to fire so you'd tell where we were, but we didn't. We held our fire. And that night they charged Banzai. We had 37 millimeter canisters and machine guns and 50 calibers, you know. And next morning, the correspondents counted, there's over 800 Jap killed in it. It was kind of like a V. We had the final detector line right there, so way through.
We're caught in crossfire.
Yeah. But so I think on to get back to you, that was something. I lost a buddy there. He was a squad leader, and one of his men got shot, so he went to get him, and he got machine guns in the stomach, and they awarded him Silver Star for it. But yeah, my colonel got shot in the chest. We called him Jumping Joe, because he was with the Raider battalion on Tulagi, with Carlson or Edison, one or the other. So he made us the kind of a Raider battalion for the division. Any volunteer, we got it. But he was a good colonel. He wouldn't do nothing. He wouldn't send us anywhere. He wouldn't go himself.
The Marines always were very close to their officers, weren't they?
Oh yeah, most of our officers at one time had been enlisted men and gone through boot camp and everything, so they knew what it was. And I liked them all.
No, you said you were trained as a machine gunner in right after boot, but then on board ship, you said that changed.
Yeah, they made a bazooka man out of me, you know. But we didn't really do anything.
There really wasn't too many bazooka targets there, were there?
Well,
On Iwo.
no. There were quite a few. A lot of satchel charges, flame floors, and everything like that. Machine guns that cover the satchel charge men, you know, going up, put the satchel charge out and everything.
So the satchel charge was the only thing that would knock out a pillbox.
Yeah, that and the flame floor. Yeah, they didn't. They shelled that thing with 16-inch guns from the Navy and everything, and the Japs on the ground. And when we come up, they had every part of that beach pinpointed, zeroed in, so that we didn't stand a chance. And
So they had markers all over, range markers?
they zeroed their guns in and knew right where to put them, you know, so anybody come there, boom.
So there was really only one place to land also on that particular, on Iwo?
Well, we landed on the right side of the beach. 5th Division landed on the other. And that's why they got to take Sabaji. And then we swung up and made the final detector line there by the quarries. And we had to wait several days for the 5th Division. Then they brought the 3rd Division in the middle of us because it wasn't big enough for 3 divisions, but they had to put them in because there was nobody left. And then,
Did you lose somebody from your squad?
oh yeah, there was, I don't know, about 900 men in the battalion. There was 128, I think, got off in that island. The rest of them,
Only
you know,
100?
they were wounded.
Out of 900, only 128?
Yeah. It was either they wounded or dead, you know.
Boy, those are
Oh, yeah.
pretty bad odds.
Well, they just loaded us off. Hey.
And we had to take that island, of course.
Oh yeah, we had to support the flying fortresses, you know. So, boy, I was glad when the atomic bomb hit.
Boy, wouldn't that have been some battle to have to go on Japan mainly?
We was, of course, the people of Hawaii took up a petition, sent it to Washington, to get their Marines back on Maui. They called us Maui Marines. And, they had warehouses loaded with stuff for the troops to come back through and gather, you know. They thought the world of us.
After every campaign, after every major campaign, did you go back to Maui to regroup?
Yeah, we were supposed to stay at Saipan when we was on Saipan, but they took this petition up and we went back to Maui. And that was good. We'd get a steak or something, you know, no ration. So,
Yeah, a friend of mine described also just exactly what you're describing. After every campaign, they went back to Maui and, you know, refilled their companies and battalions, and they had practice landings back on the Maui shore.
Yeah. Oh yeah, on the way over we had practice landing on Maui, but we didn't get to stay. We had to go back on board ship and go out, you know. But yeah, it was quite an experience.
It must have been a lousy feeling to have to leave Maui and then knowing that it's another campaign.
Yeah, when we went to Iwo, we got aboard ship, and for some reason we went to Hawaii. We anchored off in the Aloha Tower, and we stayed there 3 weeks. I think it was to get gathering the fleet because they had over 700 ships, and they had to supply them and everything, you know. And we stayed there on the same island. We enjoyed ourselves. We had 100 cases of beer a day.
Well, it's hot there too.
Yeah. But it was green. And then they had Italian prisoners right there. And we'd throw the beer cans over at them.
Italian prisoners?
Yeah, they come from Europe or Africa, I guess, or somewhere.
Yeah, whenever we heard anything about Iwo, I mean, it was always a very, very serious campaign.
Yeah, it was murder. That's all there was to it. You had to go and take it. But
How do your officers keep you up, keep that old sci-fi spirit going?
well, we all know what we have to do, and we do it. It's all. Nobody has to say, "Let's go" or anything. You just get up and go. You know.
Was that spirit instilled in you in boot camp, for instance?
I think so.
So it started there.
Yeah, I think so. Once you're Marine, you're always Marine. You know, you got something to do, and you do it. And you love the country, and you volunteer. At that time, we were all volunteers. And if you didn't like it, somebody would say, "Well, you asked for it. You know, you volunteered." So we took it for a grain of salt. We scared all the time. Don't let nobody fool you, boy. We were scared.
You were saying that you had small arms fire, bullet holes in your clothes.
Yeah.
That's about as close
Well, you see, I had to lay down in the cane field, and you get, and the swag, and they had machine guns too, then they'd firing over them. So they'd hit your clothes if they didn't hit you. But I was small, you know, I could get down.
Actually, you can get a lot smaller when they're shooting at you.
Yeah, you get pretty close. So, but anyway, we took it. That was.
Well, you said there was cane fields there. I'm not too familiar with the land on Iwo.
Yeah, they have cane fields, and then they went to the mountains, you know.
So the cane went right up to the mountain.
Yeah, and these machine gunners would hide in the cane fields, you know. They had their gun emplacements, and he had to roll around. That was all.
I understand that the Japanese general, the commander on Iwo, was really a pretty bright general.
Oh, yeah, he was different than any commander they ever had, because he didn't have no banzai. We liked the banzai because we got rid of a lot of them, you know. Yeah, but he didn't. He kept them all on the ground, sniping at you. One guy killed, I think, 79 Marines. He was in a cave and he kept sniping. And my buddy would get killed. He waved at him. You know? Oh, he's daredevil. But I don't know. I can't think of everything that went on. I tried to forget it, but
Well, I can understand that too. Yeah, but you know, if you don't tell your story now, I mean, you know, generations that follow aren't really going to know what went on there,
no.
and they really should know what sort of war it was.
There was a senator in Vermont come up to see me, and he wanted me to go to the American Legion and talk about Iwo Jima, but I just couldn't, you know. It didn't seem right, because them guys had seen a lot too, so how are you going to explain something to it?
You know, but each one has a story to tell, how you felt at the time, and you know, we can't even imagine how you felt when somebody's shooting at you.
I'm scared, I'll tell you.
I can understand.
Making the landing, going in on the LSDs or Amtrak, you know, whatever he did, it was something else. I'll tell you, I don't know. When I went in, we had a bullet come through, hit my helmet, and I ducked. That's the only place I got hurt right there. It was in the Amtrak, but it was close.
That was right at the beach landing.
Yeah, before we got in.
So the battle actually started on the beaches and
Yeah,
went.
before we got in the shore, you know, you had to wait. The dead was floating all around and everything. Nobody can imagine it. I mean, they think this war over the Gulf War and all that was terrible, but there's nothing to compare with what went through.
On Iwo.
Yeah.
Well, or any other, but Iwo was called the worst.
The guys that I really feel sorry for was Korea. I wasn't there, but them guys with frozen food, frozen canteens and feet and everything, they really suffered. At least we had it warm.
Yeah, and the Chinese, there was a bunch of Chinese there.
Yeah. What I liked about the Marines, they went up and they brought all the dead and wounded back with them.
A long ways, too.
A long ways.
So, after Iwo, what happened?
Well, we went back to the rest camp and to Maui, and we were getting ready to go. They were going to form a 10th Army, 6th Marine Division, 4 Army Division, and hit Kyushu to Japan.
Did you start training on that
Oh
then?
yeah. And then
Was that training a little different than the other landings that you were trained for?
no, I don't think so. You had basically the same thing, you know. Get ashore and dig a hole. And so, but boy, I was glad that bomb hit. Man.
We all were. Everybody was.
There's millions of men dead, and that's all there is to it. I feel sorry for the people, but they brought it on.
Right. Yeah. Well then, you were on Maui when the bomb dropped.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Some more beer drunk then?
Well, I had my share.
So then after, how long were you on Maui before you came back?
Well, it didn't take us too long. When they dropped the bomb, August 6th, and we came back in October. Went to Camp Pendleton, and then he shipped the guys from the East Coast to Bridge, Maryland, the Navy there, and we got a discharge. So, it didn't take too long. They didn't tell us anything or about insurance, they didn't tell us about a medical or anything. They just got rid of us, you know.
Just like they got you.
Just like they got us. So,
Would you get together now on reunions?
well, they do, but I've never been to a reunion. They made a trip to Iwo back, and I didn't feel like I could go. I lost so many buddies there that I didn't want to go.
Yeah, now we read that on later reunions or reunions that are coming up, I should say that now we're friends with them. We come and we shake hands, and you don't go for that.
Well, it's kind of hard. You know, to me, the colonel used to say, if they don't stink, stick them. That's my theory. But I gotta forget about it. They're good friends, I guess.
Of course, the new generation that's coming up don't know anything about what happened.
They're smarter in the world. The Japanese soldiers, he only did what the officers told him. He had to have an officer tell him what to do, because he couldn't do nothing on his own. You take a Marine, he's an individual, he does it on his own.
Yeah, we read a lot about that sort of thing here, where actually the Army and the Navy and Marine Corps veterans were trained to fight on their own, really, should their officers be.
I don't know too much about the Army. They got different tactics in the Marine. On Saipan, I remember they had Magazine Bay, and we took the airfield, we swung across, and we let the Army come in there. Well, they'd get a little artillery fire, they'd draw back. They'd get a little more artillery fire, and they'd draw back. And that's not our way. We believe in going in underneath it, so they can't keep dropping down. So, I mean, there's a lot of different tactics.
What Army division was on Iwo?
The 27th. That was a, what do you call it? What?
National Guard?
Yeah. And they relieved the general. They let the Japs banzai because they knew that was the weakest point. And they let them, that was on Saipan. And they let them all the way back to Corps Artillery. And General said, well, I ain't going to send my men in there. I know them all and everything. I can't tell them to go get killed. Well, what's war for? I mean, you're indispensable. That's all there is to it. So, I think Admiral Turner and Helen Matt Smith relieved him, put a Marine General in charge over him till they got one in the States. And then everything went all right. We had a lot of them guys from the Army come over, fight with the Marines.
Side by side?
Yeah, they said, if we're going to fight, we want somebody we know how to fight. I mean, it sounds kind of silly, but we had a lot of them.
I think the Army boot camp never instilled that sort of spirit in their people as
No,
Marines.
I don't think the Air Force or anybody else has the same spirit as the Marines do. I'd say that because I was a Marine, but I've had other people tell me that you're proud of it. It just sticks with you all through life, you know. Even now, I talk about Marines and wife, her former husband was an Army guy. Well, I ain't got nothing against him, but I like to talk about Marines.
So, what was your rank then when you
Corporal.
corporal? Is that a squad leader then?
Yeah. That's equal to an Army platoon sergeant.
Oh,
In our way of thinking.
But not necessarily in the Army's way of thinking.
No, but you know, in the Army, they get raised, Air Force get raised for hardly nothing, you know. But when you get a raise in the Marine Corps, you gotta earn it. You go before the board, everything else. Well, I got my rating, combat rating.
Even to make corporal, you had to go in front of a board. Well, except for combat, as you said.
Yeah. I got mine in combat. I got put up several times. Every officer get killed, so I never got it. So this one time I made it.
Your platoon lieutenants, how did they get their ratings now?
Oh, you work your way through.
Were they, or did they come directly from
Oh no.
officers candidate school?
Oh no. The lieutenants me.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, well, then they had to make corporal before they go to the Quantico.
Oh, I see.
And so, but then they got lenient and they run through the OCS without, you know, and we had 90-day wonders at the last part, but not very many in combat with it because they just started coming. But they were nice guys. We had a lieutenant, his dad was a general in the Army, and he always wanted to borrow my overseas cap and shirts because they were salty, you know, and he wanted to look salty. He was a good guy. And we had a lot of Navy corpsmen doctors there, Navy doctors, and after while we was waiting to go, I was in charge of Jeep truck on the island. So they'd all go out, they'd want to go out. So he'd speak for Jeep, and I'd make sure I reserved him one. When he come back, he says, look in the glove compartment, it'd be a half a fifth, you know. So I made sure he got a Jeep.
So everything has a price.
Yeah. Well, he just appreciated it, you know.
Right. You know, this 700 per mile still, you know, really gets you thinking.
Square miles, yeah. I got it in the book. I should have brought that book. I probably couldn't find it, but it tells all about it. It's really a book on Iwo. It's tremendous. I brought it over to Lloyd. I don't know if you know him.
Yes. As a matter of fact, he gave me your name.
He read it. He read this book. He says, I never realized it was like that over there.
Well, I didn't either. I you know, I knew you took a lot of casualties, but not 700 per square.
It wasn't much left of it. I was lucky. I got a little shrapnel there, and I got shrapnel here, and God knows how I made it through the.
Well, you were small for one thing. You said.
And I was in second wave in most of them, you know.
Oh.
Yeah. But I was lucky. I've been lucky all my life.
Well, hey, this was really, really interesting here. You really got stories to tell.
Well, if you care to find out more about it, I'll loan you that book
Okay,
as long as I get it back.
okay.
You know where I live. I should have brought it over, but it's really detailed on the island.
So that was really your most serious military campaign, and also your last too, of course.
It was the bloodiest, but Saipan, Tinian wasn't nothing to sneeze at. And they, on Tinian, after we had secured most of the island, there was a cliff going in the ocean, and they were throwing people off the cliff. Officers living in caves, and they'd come out and push the people over and everything. It was terrible. But
The spirit they instilled in their soldiers was quite a bit different than
they went for the emperor. Yeah, it was an honor for them to die for the emperor. And a lot of them committed carry, put a toe in the trigger of a rifle and blow their head off and cut the stomach open and all that stuff. Just like being in surgery, I guess. But, oh well. It's over, and I hope we get this other over with.
Yeah. You're following the Marine Corps yet, and whatever you can read now?
Oh yeah. They're part of my life.
Have you ever revisited Paris Island?
No. I live in northern Vermont. Kind of hard to get out of that place. We come here in the winter, and that's about it.
How long do you stay here?
We come in October and we stay till April.
You live in a park model too?
Yeah. I used to have a motorhome and traveled in, but now I got a small one, Class C. Travel in it. I can't drive too much. My wife drives a lot for me.
After you left the Marines, what was your occupation then?
Coal mining.
Coal mining?
Yeah, that was pretty dangerous work too.
Boy, you seem to like that dangerous work.
We used black powder, and I used to run shots after I'd light the shots, or sometimes I'd light the shots. It might be 60 along the thing. We'd have carbide light the shots, and so then I examined mine before the men went down, and then I went down and run the load machine, and I got covered up a couple times. I was lucky, like I say.
You got covered up?
Oh yeah, it was slate. With the machine running, you can't hear it crack, and but it'll dribble, so you know to get out of the way. So I duck under the boom and save myself. But
Now, how deep were the mine shafts?
about 250 feet, and then we're about a mile in.
I guess it doesn't matter how deep the shafts are if you get covered up.
No. And then I went from there. I worked 18 years in the mine, and then it closed down. I ended up as superintendent of the mine. But then it was truck mine, and everybody went to gas, so we had to close. And I went to boiler making, building boilers and refineries and things. And I fell twice in there. The first time the guy cut the scaffold loose from me, I fell down in a crack and broke my ankle bone off. And they had to cut a big square out of the thing, brought a headache ball down, put me on a stretcher, took me way up there and landed me on the ground. That was kind of scary. And
these were boilers at a certain plant then?
Yeah,
Manufacturing?
yeah, steam plant, and make power for the country, And then one time I was working composite crews, sheet metals, and I just got there, and here they are with a big sheet up over their head. Couldn't do nothing with it, couldn't let it down, couldn't up. So I jumped up there and put a C-clamp. I had to open it up a little bit, and I stepped back, and it did. I went right down on the cement floor on my head, knocked me out. So,
Well, how many of those 9 lives have you used up already?
I don't know. I was over to the doctor's, and I fell on my head out here, a while ago, and blood all over it and everything. The doctor says, "How come you didn't come to the hospital?" And I said, "Well, I'm a Marine. I didn't think I'd need to do a little thing like that." She laughed. She said, "I might know."
Well, how did you meet? Where and how did you meet your wife?
Well, this one here, I've been married 3 times. First one I lived with 31 years, and I got divorced. I won't go into detail. But the next one, I married a beautiful lady. We lived 20 years together, and she had leukemia. They gave her chemo, and within a week she was dead. And this is my old schoolmate, my first love, really. We said hi, we went to school together, And she lost her husband. He got killed in timber. And we got together and decided no need to live separate, So I married her.
Well, I never asked where you were born.
I was born in Morgan, Vermont.
In
A
Vermont.
little town, a horse town.
You didn't mine in Vermont, did you?
No, I mined in Illinois. After the war, I come back to Illinois, and I lived there up until the last 5 years.
Well, I'm sure you still got quite a few lives left yet in
I
your.
hope so.
your
But I'm pretty well stoked up. But I ain't gonna give up.
Well, no Marine gives up anyway here, so. Well, hey,
surrender.
yeah. Well, thank you very much, Dal. This was really, really interesting. I think we all have a much better picture of what went on in Iwo now here.
Probably, because they look at it like another invasion. We were supposed to be reserved for Okinawa, but there's nobody left, so we didn't have to go.
Now, is there still a unit left? Is your old unit still left here?
Well, no, just the association.
So they never reformed and kept it then?
Well, they had them for reserve for a long time. They used to come in and pick up toys.
Oh.
And then they did away with them. Let me show you my this is my life membership. Maybe I can. Oh yeah. Get it out.
Oh, yeah. Here, maybe we can get a close-up of this here. Try and hold it steady.
Yeah, I got that on my buckle too. I got it here.
4th Marines, huh?
Yeah. We had the highest priority in the Pacific. They said to come back. So we got on an aircraft carrier and we came back on that. We played baseball and everything else on it. But there was nobody to greet us at the dock. We landed in San Diego. It was dark. And the only people who was there was Salvation Army. And I sent a telegram and I was home. That's all that was there. Nobody did no song and dance or anything, So,
That kind of left a little empty feeling, too.
yeah, kind of. Was you appreciated?
Well, you certainly were appreciated, and I suspect there were so many other units coming home at the same time that.
Yeah, a lot of them had parades and everything. When they came back from Europe, they had parades.
Marines don't need parades.
We just little guys anyway. So,
Well, Dale, thank you. Thank you for coming. Boy, your story, your 9 lives here were really very informative here.
yeah, I don't like to talk about myself. I don't like really talk about the war anymore.
But you know, we gotta tell our kids. How about your kids now? Don't they ask about what you did and what went on?
Yeah, I give my son all my medals and everything. I got quite a few. I got a letter of commendation from the general for stringing wire out in front of the lines, and that meant something to me. But it burned up in the fire, and I 2 presidential citations, and that burned up in the fire. And now the only thing I got left is Vermont gave me 2 citations, 2 medals, and I still have them.
Now you belong to the VFW and
VFW.
American Legion.
No, I don't belong to American Legion. There's all of them. Some of them didn't go overseas. I just belong to the guys that goes overseas.
No, I sure understand. You attend the VFW?
Well, I used to, but they're in Illinois, and I'm not there now.
Yeah, I understand.
I thought about transferring to Vermont, but I really don't know anybody. So I just keep paying my dues and belongs.
Well, hey, Dale Grant, thank you very much here. I mean, it's quite a life you had here. So, well, very interesting story too. So, thank you again.
I appreciate it.